It's past time to expose the Democrats and Republicans for usurping liberty and freedom. What you are about to hear is the amalgam of passion and truth. This is the Southern Liberty Radio Show. Welcome, Liberty Defenders of the world. And I thank you for stopping by this evening for this Monday show of the Federal Rundown. Yes, I'm not on camera because it's a solo bit for a minute, and we can run through these things and knock these things out immediately, if not sooner. So first of all, I like to say go ahead and like and subscribe and all that good stuff. Make sure if you're not on the Patreon, make sure you do that also. Right? Patreon.com/TOLMF. Again, I'll probably have it running down on the bottom of the screen here momentarily. So you guys can catch up with all that good stuff. So if you're not there, obviously you don't have to pay to be part of Patreon to see some of the stuff that's written, but some of the in-depth stuff that I do write on Patreon, that it is kind of behind the wall of stuff. So, if you're interested in that content, etc., please, your donations go towards the marketing of this show and the Tuesday show called Experience Today and the Sunday show Chasing Life, Liberty, and Monarchy. I appreciate all the support, all that good stuff in this transition that we're making at the present. Those of you that don't know, my esteemed co-host, Miss Kelly Champlin, is taking a break from the show for a little bit. When she'll be back when she wants to be back on the show. So, it's kind of weird not having my sidekick on, but it's where it's at. And obviously, as the Tortured Liberty Media family, right? We hope she comes back and all that good stuff. And if she doesn't, best wishes to her and everything she does. It doesn't affect my relationship with her, our friendship. But when just one thing you have to understand, when you're in this political space for so long, you tend to get burned out. Right? Because my whole life, since I became an adult, has been political and it has been public, right? And you would think, back when I, hung up the jacket back in 2017 that, I just want to be in the private sector, be low key and all that. But I find myself in the public light again because that's the only life I know. So I get it. And, I get when people take breaks and all that stuff because it's tough. It's tough out here in these political streets, in these government streets. It's tough. They age you quick. So again, people, it's okay. I want you to hear me loud and clear. It's okay to take a break from politics and sit down, right? And don't take that in a way as, oh, your voice is not important. Your mental health is important, right? Your well-being is important. Okay. Your family is important. When your politics starts meshing in with your family and all that stuff, it's time to step back and take a break. Right? It's that time. You got to step back and do it. So don't be ashamed, y'all. Don't be ashamed to step out of the sphere for a little bit, right? Y'all know I've stepped out of it a couple times over the last 8 years, right? Because it's draining. Sometimes it's draining, and sometimes it's a forced break. Sometimes God Knocks on my door and says, Rod, you need to take a seat, son. You need to take a whole seat, son. You getting tired of getting weary. We all need that break. But anyway, we out here, we're doing the things. And we're restructuring a little bit too in the process to align, with state law and all these different things going on. So we're doing the things. We got this. We got this. It's not the first time we've been through a transition. Won't be the last, because transition is growth, right? Transition is growth. With that being said, again, make sure you're hitting the Patreon. Make sure you hit that up, all that stuff. And doing the thing. So when I run through tonight's stuff, we're not going to be here too long, right? I realized that I wasn't talking about any of the executive orders from the week either. Boom, you know what I mean? Like, I should have known that we weren't talking about them. We're going to get those mixed in. So I've been giving y'all partial information, not all of the information. So my bad. My bad. Y'all forgive me. If you forgive me, put forgive me. Yeah, I forgive you, Rod, in the chat. If you don't forgive me, tell me to go to hell in the chat. Accountability, right? Accountability. I'm not afraid of accountability, right? I don't throw the hand gesture to push the accountability away, right? Because accountability promotes growth, right? Promotes growth. So all that good stuff. So anyway, I won't fail y'all again. Wait, no, let me don't say that. Let me don't say that, because I may fail you again. I just don't want that hanging over my head. See, Rod, you said you never fail us, and look, bro, you failed us here. Then you start nitpicking things that ain't even failures there. Like, bruh, you just trying to just skin the whole cat, huh? But anyway, listen, I love y'all and I appreciate y'all and all that good stuff. You know I do. I do. Those of you I talk to on a daily basis, those of you I talk to every now and again, and those of you I've never spoke to before, I still love you. I still love all y'all equally. I'll drop my last dime to help you if I had it. Y'all know that. Y'all know that. So with that, we're gonna get into this so we can get up out of here. I've already wasted 10 minutes. Getting 10 minutes of that time. You know what I'm saying? So we gonna let me get this thing cleaned up here real quick. Let me get up here, get this cleaned up for y'all. I want y'all to talk to me in the chat though. Let me know how y'all's week going, all that good stuff. Let me know how y'all doing. And doing the thing. So obviously we know these people, we call them the Congress, right? The House, Senate, they have these pro forma sessions to stay in session while they're out on vacation. You know what I mean? It's almost like playing hooky. Congress is playing hooky. They say, "Oh, we're here, teacher." Right? It's like those of you that were teenagers in high school and you skip classes or you skip school, but you went to school long enough to go to homeroom, right? To get counted as present for the whole day, and then you left. That's what Congress is doing. They're those pesky high school teenagers. Like, we just got to make it to homeroom, and then we can leave when nobody's looking through the back of the gym. So let's go. We'll go until homeroom is at 8:30. We get counted as present, and we dip. That's what Congress is doing, a bunch of meatheads. But anyway, they are doing pro forma sessions, basically gavel in, gavel out, we're in session. So one, Trump cannot appoint recess appointments. That's sneaky. That's sneaky. But anyway, John Toon said he was going to do it. They can do it. That's what they do. Look, if I was Trump, and you know what I mean, I was, and y'all know me, I'm petty, even extra petty, I would turn around and invoke the convening of Congress calls and bring them all back from break. So, oh, y'all want to do that? Okay, let's come on. Let me pull y'all back on in here so we can handle some business, the people's business. I would be that petty. I would be that petty and dare you to fight me on it. Y'all ain't gonna let me get no recess appointments. Y'all coming back to work, baby, because we gonna get them appointments. All right, y'all be coming back to work. So come on, y'all don't care how long you gotta wait. Y'all coming back to work. So, but anyway, Donald Trump, if you listening, if you're listening, I'm just saying, invoke the convening of Congress clause and bring them back. Bring them back in. You know, since they want, they don't want to do your appointments in session. They don't want to do you have recess appointments, so you bring them back and you set these people through hearings. What you gonna do, Congress? You can't do nothing. But anyway, oh, and by the way, that is the president's constitutional right. But anyway, I digress. No votes this week in Congress, obviously, because they're not there. But there's a few bills that are lingering around in committee. One of them um, is HR 5623. Let me see. Actually, if I could, I can see if I could actually bring that up. Actually, I should be able to, so y'all can see the bill instead of hearing me run my mouth about it. I think I should just put the bills up on the screen. What do y'all think? Y'all think I should put them up on the screen so y'all can see them? I think that would be definitely mighty proper. So let me see if I can pull it up real quick. Get these in here for you. Well, obviously, you're not going to see too much. If they have text, y'all, if they have text, I'll make sure you can at least see the start of the text. Let me take that out. Wow, this one hasn't even hit the radar yet. My goodness. Wow, our relevancy newest. Let's do this. Okay, what if I take the dots out of it? 5623, all sources. Wow, people, I'm looking at it right now, and they're not even cataloged yet. These are like brand new, brand new. Brand new, brand new. Wow. Hold on, let me see if I could get this. I don't want any of that. But anyway, I'm not gonna go through that part. I ain't gonna go through that part. So HR 5623 is the Individual Taxpayers Rights Act. Um, this bill is in the House Ways and Means Committee, and this bill was introduced by Michelle Fischbach from Minnesota, Republican from Minnesota. And this bill, in summary, protects the individual taxpayers from federal IRS audits. I like the idea. I like the idea. But we'll see how far the bill goes because I want to look at the bill and read it with you guys. But dun 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 dun. What if I did? You know what if I did it by representative? Let me do it that way because you can usually look them up by representative and see all this. I don't need all that. I don't need all that. I don't need all that. Come on. God, it's throwing up things up on this screen. Congress got Gov must be like getting screwy on us, y'all, because it's not allowing me to bring up any of that information whatsoever. Like this is wow, and it's going slow. It's going really slow. And I don't want all these other Congresses. I don't. Let me do it this way. I'm gonna get it on screen for you guys. Believe me, I will get it on screen. Current Congress, HR 5623. Yeah, it's brand new, brand new. That it's wow. They have So the GPO hasn't even posted it yet. So that's coming. That's coming. I'm not going to waste any more time or waste you guys' time on any of that. HR 5645, the State Water Rights Act. This bill is introduced by Representative Harriet Hageman of Wyoming, and this bill would affirm state control over water resources. Pretty simple state for that. That kind of goes into the whole federal land thing, et cetera, et cetera. So moving on, HR 5567. It's called the Federal Mandate Reduction Act, and this bill, long time coming. I want to see. Actually, I want to try to see if I can find this bill. I want to see if I can find this and see what's all in it. But this bill was introduced by Representative Bob Good of Virginia, and this bill, the summary of this bill, is to reduce federal mandates on states. I'm excited. I gotta find this one. I don't have a choice but to find this one. Where are we at? Oh, come on, people. Come on, come on, come on. All right, let's do it this way. I want to find this one because what it is, I can pull these from the representatives' websites, but some of them don't have the PDFs where you can download them to look at them right now for some reason. I don't know if it's a glitch um, with Congress.gov or what have you. But I'm going to get this Bob Good. We're gonna get at this. Okay, where is Bob? Okay, I'm sorry, guys. I want to see it. I'll pull it up later. I'm not going to. I'm not going to waste your time on that. We'll go over it later. We have 5589 Veterans Choice Expansion Act. This bill was introduced by Derek Van Orden of Wisconsin, and this bill expands education options to veterans, which is a which is a great thing. Let's see what else we got here. We have HR 5612 Energy Market Deregulation Act, and this bill is the summary of this bill is to reduce federal regulations on energy markets. Um, HR 5634 Small Business Tax Simplification Act. This bill was introduced by Blaine Lutmeyer of Missouri, and this bill is written to simplify tax filings for small businesses. Let's see what else we got here. We got HR 5656, the Rural Telecom Expansion Act. This bill, introduced by Dusty Johnson of South Dakota, would fund telecom infrastructure in rural areas. HR 5678, the Election State Control Act, introduced by Representative Brian Steele of Wisconsin. And this bill is to protect state election laws from federal interference. Remember last week we talked about Democrats wanting to push the federal government to oversee state elections. Well, this bill is the opposite. We want to ensure that the federal government cannot infringe upon it. The Constitution even says it can't. But these Democrats seem to think they can just, what Constitution? Wait, hold on. Donald Trump is not acting constitutionally, but you same time you're trying to pass acts that step on said Constitution. You're standing up for F out of here. But anyway, y'all get it. You know the deal. HR 5701, Cybersecurity State Partnership Act. This bill was introduced by Representative John Katko of New York. And this bill would create a partnership between federal and the state on cybersecurity without mandates. I like no mandates, right? Last but not least, H.R. 5723, Taxpayer Rights Enhancement Act, introduced by Representative Vern Buchanan of Florida. And this bill would enhance taxpayer protections against federal IRS actions. And that goes on with the other bill that was introduced by the young lady from Minnesota, Miss Fishbach. So that definitely go hand in hand. So those are the top 10 bills that I deem somewhat important to kind of watch out for when they come back the session in September. So be there or be square. So now here's the part y'all have been missing from me, because again, I say forgive me because I keep some of the most important pieces of um I say regulation, like executive orders, I've ignored. We're not doing that tonight. There's a couple I pulled up from this week. We're going to get into, and I know I can find those. I can pull those up because I'm that guy. I'm that guy to be able to do that. Whitehouse.gov. I'm gonna pull them up, bring them up on screen, and we'll talk about it. One of the ones we have seen and heard the news talk about is, let me pull it up right here. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, why is my certain? I think there's something going on with my media issues history. Okay, no, close that. White House. Okay, let me do it this way. Sorry about this, guys. I swear, like this was all lined up and had everything all nice and pretty, and then poof, that was it. Okay, so let's go back. I want to do executive orders because that's where I'm at. So that's why they didn't do said number. Okay, so we know about the one executive order he did. Stop on the DC, bringing in the DC National Guard and all that good stuff. We know about all that. That's been talked about ad nauseum, like nobody's business. Okay, so here we go. Here's the one. Here we go. Perfect. So the next executive order, let me get it on screen so you guys can see it too. So hopefully that's, let me get the presentation part. Boom, there we go. Perfecto. Yay, we got action. So this is this is Executive Order 14152, and this order is concerning the revocation of Executive Order on competition. It's a pretty short one, so this one's pretty easy. We're not going to read the preamble and all that good stuff, right? But the general provisions of this executive order, as you see here, nothing in this order shall be construed to impair or otherwise affect the authority granted by law to an executive department or agency or the head thereof, or the functions of the director of the Office of Management and Budget relating to budgetary, administrative, and legislative proposals. This order shall be implemented consistent with applicable law and subject to the availability of appropriations. This order is not intended and does not create any right or benefit, substantive or procedural, enforceable at law or in equity by any party against the United States, its departments, agencies, entities, its officers, employees, or agents, or any other person. The cost of publication of this order shall be borne by the Department of Justice. So, I mean, this is literally is what it says. I mean, there's nothing um too spectacular about that. Um, let's see, where was the other one I was looking for that came out this week? Well, last week. I'm sorry, that came out last week. Okay, suspended duty free to minimize. Remember seeing that one. That might be just a memoranda. Um, okay, so here's the other one, and I think this one is pretty decently long, and I'm not gonna drag you through it. I wanna hit the important parts of this order. Okay, God, I went too far. Sorry, y'all. Where are we going? It's so big on my screen, I can't even freaking tell what the heck is going on. I'm like, eh. Okay, here it is. Subsequently, the United States entered into discussions with PRC to address the lack of trade reciprocity in our economic relationship and our resulting national economic security concerns. Therefore, Executive Order 14298 on May 12, 2025, which was called a modifying reciprocal tariff rate to reflect discussions with the People's Republic of China, I determined that it was necessary and appropriate to address the national emergency declared in Executive Order 14257 by modifying the HTSUS to suspend for a period of 90 days application of the additional ad valorem duties imposed on the PRC listed in Annex 1 to Executive Order 1457 as amended, and to instead impose the articles of the PRC an additional ad valorem rate of duty as set forth in Executive Order 14298, pursuant to the terms and except as otherwise provided in Executive Order 14257, as amended. This 90-day suspension expires 12:01 Eastern Daylight Time on August 12th, 2005. So basically, what he's doing is he's doubling up on the reciprocal tariffs, as you read. He's basically doubling up. I'm not going to get into the whole thing, so I'm not no finance and no econ, but that tells me he's doubling down on what he's doing, if per the talks he had with China with the tariffs. So again, more tariffs, extra tariffs, and your mama's tariffs on China right now. So, but other than that, that's it. Oh yeah, here's the other one. Um, Elon Musk is not going to be happy with this one because um, with this particular executive order, he's opening up competition in the space race. Now, not saying there's not already companies in that space already, right, doing things and launching rockets, but all we hear about is Elon Musk. But now that it's broadened a little bit more, I think you're going to start hearing less of Elon Musk and SpaceX, and hearing about these other companies that are launching rockets into space and things of that nature. So we'll just have to see what the byproduct of that um what that will actually look like. Um, so let's see what else we got here. So in the federal courts, there's really nothing came out of the courts this week either. So which I find odd, but it is what it is at this point. Nothing important, I should say, right? Because all the other stuff has already been stuff that's been appealed, that's been adjudicated on, has been appealed, all that good. So we're not gonna go through all that because there's a lot of that going on. But there's nothing new that has come out. So we're at the end, guys. I'm sorry. I wish there was more, but I can't make up stuff. Can't make up stuff for you to go look for and look at and read. But what I will tell you before we do roll out like Autobots, listen, if you guys are on social media and you're fighting against the evil block of energy on the other side and all that good stuff, um, it's gonna come hard. It's gonna come really hard because these people are gearing up for midterms. These people are gearing up for governor runs like presidential runs like Newsom and all these other people gearing up to run for governor. Please, this off year, right? Please understand your odd years. A lot of times, uh, are your mayoral elections, your board of commissioners elections. So pay attention come November. October, November, depending on where you are. See what elections are going on. Make sure you're fully informed before you go to the ballot box, right? And do the things. Because again, liberty will be stolen from you on the local level before it will be stolen from you anywhere else. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we're at the end. Remember, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Share this if you like the stuff. Make sure you check out Patreon, patreon.com/TOLMF. Make sure you check that out. And you know, sign up and all those good things. And with that being said, remember, love your neighbors, love your family, but ultimately, if you don't love yourself, you can't love anybody else. Until tomorrow, for the experience today, I don't know what it is. I'll find out when you do. Peace and love, everybody.